Rev Al Sharpton, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate you making the time. You've had such a long, illustrious, and storied career. What is it like to receive the Emma Bowen Humanitarian Medal?
Well, let me say this. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Rev. The Rev
All
is
right, good.
speaking. We can hear you loud and
Well,
clear.
I been trying to get this technology straight, but even though I had this engagement, I said I'll get in the car to get this award. That's how much it means to me. When I was just a teenager, as youth director of Operation Breadbasket, New York, under Jesse Jackson, Emma Bowen started dealing with diversity issues in the television and radio industries. We used to meet at CBS. She taught all of us that the public airways needed to be diverse. And I've never met a more selfless, unselfish advocate. She wasn't looking for political office. She wasn't looking for the spotlight. She wanted to see our people represented. And she was somebody that all of my life, I've never forgotten the impact she made on me. So to get this award tonight is special to me because of who it's named after and the work that is continued in her name. To do anything that would keep the dream and the message of Emma Bowen alive, you could always count me in. And being given this award is one of the great honors of my life. So I wanted to be on. I'm sorry I couldn't be on in a more lit area. I couldn't break this engagement. I wanted to get in the car and talk about how her legacy. There would not be Blacks on television, including me on MSNBC, if it wasn't for the work of Emma Bowen, because it is the unsung heroes that open doors, and everybody gets their time in the light. She never did that. She was just a regular sister, an ordinary person who did extraordinary things, which made her much more extraordinary than the talent you see on the air. So I hope people will donate. I hope people will keep this center alive. And because Emma Bowen took time with a little guy from Brownsville, Brooklyn, from a single parent home, and she knew my mom, I want to tell you tonight that National Action Network and I are giving $5,000.
Oh, that's incredible news. You heard it here first. That is so amazing. A rapid fire question for you real quick. If you had to describe Miss Bowen in one word, what would it be?
Tenacious. She
Tenacious.
Couldn't take no for an answer. She was tenacious. She would bring us in meetings she'd have with executives at some of the local stations, and they would give all the reasons why we couldn't do what she wanted them to do. And we never left until they said, we'll do exactly what you want, Emma.
I love that. She did take no for an answer. Thank you so much for that gift. We so appreciate it. It's going to definitely continue furthering the organization's mission. Wanted to also talk with you about some news as you've been covering tonight. News just in about Senate Republicans blocking the Democrats' voting and election bill. I want to get your reaction to that vote, 49-51. What are your thoughts on that?
It means now that we have to get rid of the filibuster. It showed that not one Republican that would give us enough votes to break this tie and to break this need of 10 votes. The only way to do it is going to be to carve out by breaking the filibuster. Joe Manchin said he wanted to bring some Republicans along. We gave him his time. He got his bill. This was a compromise bill. He couldn't get 10 Republicans. Now he's got to go with us and break the filibuster.
Breaking the filibuster, top of mind for a lot of people. As we think about missions like breaking the filibuster and so many things that we witnessed over the past few years, what does this moment in history mean to you?
It means to me that all that we have fought for down through the decades culminated with the election of Barack Obama, where we got an opportunity to be in power. We knew there would be a backlash, and we had. Now we've got to stop the backlash. And everything could either be drowned or salvaged right now. We've got to save our right to vote. We've got to fight to maintain our communities. It all is going to come down to the next few months, and everybody should get out of their mind that they have the option of dropping out. There is no dropping out. We've all got to do our part.
No dropping out for sure. And backlash seems to be the name of the game when you're doing something that's really important. When I think of you, I also think of Dr. King and other illustrious figures who have certainly shaped history. As you think about Dr. King's dream, this I have a dream, when do you see it being fully materialized, and where do you feel we stand on the timeline for change?
I think that it's an evolving situation. Economically, we're not much further than we were. Politically, we have held bigger positions. We have a Black sitting vice president. We had a Black president. We have Blacks now in statewide office. But now we've got to be able to empower them where they get majorities and be able to deliver. People want to be delivered. People don't want to see people's careers enhanced and their communities not enhanced. So I think that we are further than we were, but we still have a long way to go. And I think Dr. King, Martin III, and I work very closely together. Dr. King would say that. For those that say we've made no progress, that's not true. We socially are a lot further than we ever was in our parents' lifetime. But politically and economically, we still have a long way to go. And we should not give up until we get full equality. We should not only have the freedom to socialize, we should have the political and economic equal right to be treated, to compete, to have the same opportunities as anyone else in this country.
Opportunity is so important. And you mentioned our Vice President, Kamala Harris. By the way, happy birthday to her if she's tuning in. We had so much reckoning in 2020 following so many events. I mean, you have the pandemic compounded with the unfortunate murder of George Floyd, people of color subsequently being kind of trendy, if you want to use that word. How do we make that and this hyper focus on equality more than just a moment?
I think that by continuing to be vigilant, by continuing just to be participating, everything from voting to rallying to supporting organizations, supporting institutions like this, we've got to be able to do more than one thing at a time. You know, I went to public schools in Brooklyn, but we had math and history and creative arts and English all in the same day. If we could study more than one thing in a day in school and do different homework at night, we can support organizations, support different efforts, rally, and vote all at the same time. We act like we can only do one thing. We weren't even educated to do only one thing. We ought to be multi-involved because we have to be involved to deal with problems on multi-fronts.
Involvement is so important, and I'm getting the word that you've got to go, but we really could talk with you all evening. I know you're a busy man. Rev Al Sharpton, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. And again, this is one of my treasured awards. And put us down, we will get our contribution in. And I hope everybody gives, because what you're doing, I knew where Emma Bowen started. What you're doing is for generations to come, and we need the money to support the dream. We keep telling people we don't want outsiders to have to do for us. Sure, we can do for ourselves. Do right now. Support what is going on with this most important institution named after a magnificent woman. Thank you.